Okay, you can see in the background, we got all the ground posts set in the ground from earlier today. Everything went great. I went through and I took a grinder with a cutoff wheel on it, and I cut all the tops off at the exact 32 inches that I wanted them to be, like we talked about earlier in the video. As you can see, everything looks really, really good. So now we are bending poles. I've been bending poles all afternoon. I have 2 poles left to bend, but I wanted to make sure you guys could follow that journey to see exactly how we get those poles bent. So come over here and I'll show you what I'm doing. Okay, so what you want to do on these poles is you want to make 2 sets of marks. One at 9 inches and then one at 18 inches after that point. The reasoning why is because this marks are where you're going to put that into the mark on your bender to know how far down to pull that. Plus, it's also going to give you a service mark to know exactly how far down the hoop you want to push that down. What you want to notice is on your standard stick, you have a swedged end, or an end that has been smashed down, and then it's open on the other end. So if you hear anybody say it's a swedged end or anything, this is what they're talking about. You want to set your tape up. You want to make a mark at 9 inches, and then you want to make a mark every 18 inches after that. As you can see that I've done all the way down this pole. And what this is this is a reference mark. So when I put this into the bender, I know exactly how far away to make this bend. It's all going to make sense here. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab this pole, and then I am going to come up to our bender. I actually have the Bootstrap Farmer 20-foot bender mounted to a telephone pole that I dug in the ground here. This pole is always going to stay here, and what this is just a good solid base platform for me to mount my benders on. A lot of times they will say you can mount them onto a trailer and bend them flat. You can mount them to the side of a barn or anything like that. I choose to put a pole in the ground. It's easier for me. I could walk around it. I could do a lot of other activities around it. And to me, it seems like this would be an easier way of bending your poles than trying to lay them flat or anything. Okay, so as you can see, we have this wedged end. You always want to bend these poles exactly the same. If you marked your 9 inches from this wedge like you're supposed to, this is the end that goes into this bender. This is the reference mark I'm talking about. You can either put the mark, I always put the mark right here on the outside. So as I stick the pole into the bender, and you notice I am 5'9", okay? 5'10" on a good day with my boots on. I want this bender to be almost about the same height as me. And the reason why is because I need to come out here and I need to grab the end of this pole right here to make this bend. If you have it too high, you're gonna be on your tippy toes trying to reach this. You want it to be a comfortable working height. So what I do is I go back to almost 3/4 of the way and I stick my hand straight up in the ground. See how I did that? I'm standing flat-footed. I just reached up. See how I grabbed that really easy? This is where my leverage is. This is my leverage to bend this pole. Remember, you are physically doing this yourself. This is not mechanically done. This is you being the mechanical purpose for this. So we're gonna come here, and you notice there's the 9-inch mark right there. There's your 18-inch marks from that point on. So we are gonna set this 9-inch mark to the end of this bender, or pretty well close. I like to make it just a tad bit proud of it so I can see this. Now remember, when you pull this down on this bender, there is 2 pieces of pipe that your top rail rides on. You want to make sure when you reach up to bend this, you bend this evenly down. You don't want to twist this pole as you're bending, because then you're going to twist your pole. And to keep that from happening, you need to be very careful when you bend this and you pull it even all the time. Don't pull it at an angle sideways. This way, you want to pull evenly down. So like I said, I usually stand about 3/4 of the way here, so we're about proud. And then I am going to pull this pipe all the way down to physically touch this corner right here. So I'm going to grab this like this, and I'm just going to bend down, touch, and then I'm going to come back up. Once you reference this 18-inch mark right here, now it's time to make the second bend. So you're going to come down here again. You are going to bend this pole until it lightly kisses this right here. So you're going to bend it, you're going to come down, kiss, come right back up. That's all you got to do. This is real easy. This stuff bends really, really, really easy. It's very easy to get out of control and overbend this. Once you overbend this and kink this pipe is junk. You cannot use this or try to repurpose this to unbend it, because it will not work. I will be the first to tell you I've tried everything. It will not work. This pipe will now be put to scrap because you can't unbend what you've already bent on this. This is very thin wall pipe, and at $20 a stick, it's a very costly mistake if you overbend it. So just take your time. There's no need to rush. There's no need to get in a hurry. You know, this is something you're supposed to be enjoying yourself, building this high tone that you're gonna grow all this food for customers and yourself. You wanna enjoy this stuff. So you come back to the next 18-inch reference mark, and I'm gonna go a little proud, just like that again. Once again, I wanna see with my eye, I want to see that mark so I know I'm not anywhere in here. I'm right where I need to be. You're gonna come back over here. Now you notice we're getting shorter. So as you get shorter, leverage is gonna tell you that this is gonna get harder for you to bend. That's why you've got a cheater pull. So we're gonna come down here again. We're gonna pull even. You can see it's starting to get a little harder here. We're gonna grab down here. We're gonna get down here. We're gonna show that 18-inch mark a little bit proud. And now I'm probably gonna have to pull a cheater, because if I don't, it's, you know, I'm an old man. It's, you don't wanna hurt yourself or pull something. So you're just gonna pull it proud, and you're gonna come down, you're gonna do the same thing. Now you're gonna reach out here. This is where you're gonna get that leverage to help you make those bends as you get closer to the end. Remember, when you bend down, you don't wanna twist this pole and make this thing cockeyed or curved. You wanna make this exactly straight. So just take your time, come down again. Now you're gonna go and you're gonna find your 18-inch mark there. You're gonna be a little bit proud like that so you can see that mark. You're gonna come down here. And it's starting to get heavy now. When it's this last bend right up here, these last two, whew, they'll get you. And you notice, if you step back, you'll notice you start seeing that curving arc. You don't want this to be kinked or anything. You want this to be a nice curved arc like that. Let the bender do all the work. That's exactly what this bender's for. Let the bender do all the work. All you've got to do is provide a little bit of muscle to make this work. So now where you've got to flip this the other way. So, see, now we're back to over here again. So I'm gonna grab this like this, and don't worry thinking, well, now it's backwards. No, this is the same gradual bend in here, whether you flip it this way or flip it that way. It's the same thing, but you've got to, with these sticks being 10.5 foot long, unless you put this way high where you got to stand on a ladder to bend this, it's going to touch the ground, and that's going to be the problem. And you're going to have bends here, which you cannot bend. So the last two bends, you're going to have to flip it so you can get it. So you put the proud in there, come down here, grab your pipe, go easy with it. Come down here, grab your 9-inch right here, because this is going to be consider your 9-inch mark now. You're gonna come down here, and then you are going to bend that like that. There we are. See how you've got that sweeping corner? This is what makes your bend. So I'm gonna show you one more time with this last stick. I'm gonna come through here. I'm gonna take these last marks, and I'm just gonna roughly throw a mark up. That's gonna represent the two last bends we have. So once again, we're gonna do the exact same thing. We've got 9 inches up, and then we've got every 18 inches from that point. So we are once again gonna come in here, find the 9-inch mark. I'll be a little proud of it. And then we're gonna come in and do a bend. What you're gonna do is you're gonna set your 9-inch mark. You're gonna stand back and you're gonna grab it. And then you're gonna bend the pole down till you lightly touch. Come right back up. We're gonna slide this down to your first fingernails on a chalkboard. Slide this down to your first 18-inch mark, which is a little bit proud. And then we're gonna come back and we're gonna grab this again. We're gonna bend this down, lightly touch. Hopefully you guys can see that. So now we're gonna come to the next mark there. We're gonna grab this and we're gonna bend this. This is where it gets tough. So you gotta grab that cheater, slide that over. Now you can come back. And I don't think, I'm gonna show you if we can try to do this. I don't think, yeah, see, we're not gonna be able to. So even if you wanted to, it doesn't work that way. So we're gonna grab this again. We're gonna come through. We're gonna do the second mark. We're gonna grab this pole. We're gonna bend this down, just like that. We're gonna come through and grab this again. And we're gonna do the very last one. Just a shad bit. We're gonna go ahead and bend this one down. Okay. All right, that is it. There you go. You see it? So that is exactly how we bend all of these poles. So now it's gonna start to get dark. So I think I'm gonna be done for the day. It's been a very long day. So now tomorrow, I'm gonna start showing you how we connect these poles together and how we get everything put up. Once again, guys, make sure you check out the video before this. This is gonna be a lot of stuff I'm gonna throw at you. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, make sure you put down in the comments anything you want to talk about further, and we'll discuss that. Any questions that you may or may not have. But I do recommend that you do go to Bootstrap Farmer's website. Like I said, I have a link in my description. Down below, there'll be blogs, there'll be instructional videos. There'll be some of my videos down there that I've done for Bootstrap Farmer on high tunnel stuff. And there'll also be videos on how you can print off the directions to do any of these high tunnels yourself. All right, guys, I'm gonna head in and then I will see you on the next one. Bye.